Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Jack, and it is time to round up some video game news. Yeehaw! It's a roundup. Activision Blizzard has yet again managed to top headlines and Twitter threads after its new mandatory return to office policy leaked to the masses. Oh, here we go again. On Monday, February 13th, Blizzard employee and Twitter user @LeastMyHairIsOK, great username, tweeted a mega thread stating, quote, "Today, Activision and Blizzard announced a return to office plan to employees. It begins April, June, depending on the studio. The company will see a large reduction in force if this occurs." They added, quote, "The majority of employees at ABK have no interest in returning to office either full-time or part-time. This isn't to say that nobody sees the value in an office environment, but we've overall decided the risks do not outweigh those benefits." The thread goes on to outline why a return to office policy at this point in time doesn't really make sense for most employees, citing the removal of in-office COVID precautions and the loss of savings for employees who may have to relocate or return to a commute amidst severe inflation and an ever-growing economic crisis. There's also the overall improvements in worker morale and health that would be completely trashed by being forced to come back to the office. When asked about Activision's reasoning for requiring workers to share a physical space again, @LeastMyHairIsOK replied, quote, "To paraphrase the email I received without leaking its direct text, their belief is that these four things are better in office. Number 1, culture. Number 2, employee learning/growth. Number 3, collaborating efficiently. And number 4, coming up with ideas. So, weak justifications." The tweet thread was picked up by GameDeveloper.com and a number of other sites, which led to multiple game developers at the top of their field giving their own testimonies about how COVID times have proved even record-breaking AAA games can be made remotely. A senior 3D environment artist at Motive wrote, "Mandatory RTO from Blizzard just sucks. You definitely can ship a game full work from home. We shipped Squadrons and Dead Space. So much bull." Bad words. Dylan Snyder, a senior game designer at Blizzard, wrote, "I believe Blizzard and specifically Activision leadership are making a huge mistake with their recent return to office policy. Then to follow up that by shortening people in regard to their compensation following the most lucrative quarter in the company's history is unacceptable." One Twitter user made a joke that work from home was responsible for bringing notorious sexual harassment allegations at Blizzard to an all-time low. Ooh, that one stings. But that actually turned out to be a real benefit for those trying to reform Blizzard's toxic past. During COVID, any inappropriate work conversations could be easily recorded, documented, or reported via messaging and video apps. Others suggested the policy is a way to get employees to voluntarily resign so Activision Blizzard could dump personnel and costs while circumventing bad press over mass layoffs. That's horrible. A representative from Activision Blizzard eventually gave GameDeveloper.com an official comment confirming that, quote, "Office work will resume on April 10th for Activision publishing employees and July 10th for Blizzard employees. To start, employees for both divisions will be required to come to the office 3 days a week." The spokesperson added, quote, "Activision Blizzard has been returning teams to the office over the past year," and said, quote, "We look forward to increased in-person collaboration and teamwork." That sounds like the 4 things listed from before. Actually, we would really like to stop reporting on Activision Blizzard all the time, but the leadership over there just refuses to stay out of the headlines for more than a week or two. Come on, just be quiet for a little bit, please. Let's move on. All right, for this next story, I'm gonna try not to smirk, but there was a bit of controversy over the inclusion of detailed lady parts in the next-gen update for The Witcher 3. That's where we're going, folks. Kotaku's Alyssa Mercante picked up the story last week when not safe for work images surfaced on Reddit, specifically of the 3 crones found in Crookback Bog. Mercante also noted her fiance was, quote, "taken aback when trying to take a picture in photo mode and noticed a Bruxa had an entire Brucusi." Don't even know. Some accused CD Projekt Red of using a fan-made mod called Vaginas for Everyone. Hey, it's New Year. Without the modder's permission, to which CDPR responded that they would be removing the graphic textures and models from the game and investigating the situation. That's a whole other can of worms right there. A few days later, CDPR gave an official statement to IGN which reads, quote, "As was understood by CD Projekt Red, until very recently, the vulva textures in question..." No honor, the vulva textures in question. The vulva textures in question were part of the HD Monsters Reworked HDMR mod, not the Vaginas for Everyone mod. Get your vagina mods clear, everyone. They added in 2021, at the time of signing the copyright transfer agreement, the HDMR mod author confirmed to CDPR, a lot of letters here, that they were the sole author of the mod in question. The HDMR mod author granted CD Projekt Red rights to use the mod and was credited and compensated for their work. As reported by Kotaku, it sounds like the HDMR mod used textures from the Vaginas for Everyone mod without crediting the original modder, but there's no conflict over it. CDPR's official response includes, the removal of these elements is not intended as a statement against nudity or mature themes, but rather an attempt to maintain visual coherence across all character models, including these textures in the game, was not something we planned from the start. Woo! That's... What is this world? What years do we live in now that they're fighting over digital vaginas? It's a thing. Okay, Wild Hearts is a new game that many are pinning hopes on being a fresh take on Monster Hunter. There is still well-placed optimism for that, but unfortunately it looks like the game may be headed for a rough launch. Wild Hearts is having performance issues even on PCs that surpass recommended specs. In response, the game's developer published an official blog post on Tuesday which reads, quote, Omega Force are working continuously to improve performance and optimize the game for a wide variety of hardware specs across future updates. Very presidential, gotta do the Bob Dole thing. The post continues, quote, we have a patch coming next week that addresses a CPU bottleneck problem the team discovered. This should improve performance across mid to high-end CPUs. The team are also actively working on DLSS and FSR support, which will arrive in a future patch. So yeah, if developers can't address the performance issues until the week after Wild Hearts launches, initial impressions and reviews might be rough right out of the gate. You know, those day one patches, right? However, some early impressions suggest that the gameplay is a lot of fun and the barrier to entry is quite lower than it is for the Monster Hunter series. If that holds true, we could see a large camp of players weather the issues until those bigger patches arrive. Earlier this week, we put up a video about Xbox acknowledging Game Pass negatively impacting game sales. Well, after a number of headlines were published on the subject, Microsoft has actually responded in an official capacity. To catch you up real quick, as a result of the Competition and Markets Authority investigating and publishing their preliminary ruling on Microsoft's plans to acquire Activision Blizzard, various discoveries have been made about big video game business. A PDF published by the CMA contained a statement reading, quote, Microsoft submitted that its internal analysis shows a redacted percent decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. A number of sites pointed out that the finding contradicts public statements made in the past by Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer. When Eurogamer asked Microsoft for a comment on the contradiction, a spokesperson replied, quote, we're focused on helping game creators of all sizes maximize the total financial value they receive through Game Pass. Each game is unique, so we work closely with creators to build a custom program to reflect what they need, ensure that they are compensated financially for their participation in the service, and allow room for creativity and innovation. As a result, the number of developers interested in working with Game Pass continues to grow. Note that Microsoft did not dispute the claims made by the CMA or any sites that ran stories about the findings, so they are probably true. Look over here. Look at the Chewbacca. As we said on the channel during the week, it's not surprising that a subscription service like Game Pass would impact game sales, but it does indicate that we may see some changes in the service in the near future. For example, maybe we see Microsoft hold back on launch day availability, or just cycle games off the service more quickly. Who knows? We'll keep an eye on it for you. Renowned musician and award-winning Doom composer Mick Gordon announced earlier this week that he plans to donate his compensation earned from working on the game Atomic Heart to the Australian Red Cross's Ukraine Crisis Appeal. Atomic Heart is an upcoming FPS game from Russian developer Mundfish that takes heavy inspiration from games like BioShock and Half-Life, but with Soviet trappings and iconography. Mundfish has been the subject of much controversy, including reports of workplace and development issues, as well as accusations of collecting user data for Russian state authorities. That's not good. Adding to the fire, just last month the studio was put on blast for refusing to directly acknowledge the Russian-Ukrainian war. Mundfish reportedly has a physical headquarters in Cyprus outside of Russia, but until a couple years ago their main office was in Moscow, which has many players questioning the studio's relationship with the Russian government and where the studio stands on the conflict. In response, the developer tweeted, quote, guys, we have noted the questions surrounding where we, at Mundfish, stand. we want to assure you that Munfish is a developer and studio with a global team focused on an innovative game and is undeniably a pro-peace organization against violence against people. They added, quote, "We do not comment on politics or religion. Rest assured, we are a global team focused on getting Atomic Heart into the hands of gamers everywhere." The statement was called out readily by fans and developers, and it's likely what eventually prompted Mick Gordon to tweet on Tuesday, quote, "My musical contribution to Atomic Heart will also support a greater cause. I've donated my fee to @Red Cross AU's Ukraine Crisis Appeal to stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. If you're able to, please consider donating. Together we can make a difference. Hashtag support Ukraine." Gordon also posted a longer note explaining why he got involved with the project and his stance on the war in Ukraine, which is worth a read. But there are those who have pointed out that the contribution might not matter much if Munfish does in fact have investors with close ties to the Russian government. It's an inquiry that has yet to be answered directly by the studio, so the game will likely remain controversial through its launch, especially given its setting is an alternate history where Russia dominates Nazi Germany in World War II, leading to a technical revolution for the Soviet Union as you play as a KGB special agent. Last week, our headlining story was about Nintendo's lack of messaging around the $10 price hike for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Lots of really good discussions in the comments about inflation, the value of a game versus its worth, but we did read one comment that absolutely terrified us. Zach DK wrote, quote, "Let's be real. If there was a Tears of the Kingdom Red and Tears of the Kingdom Blue priced at $100 each, people would buy both." Yeah, shout out to Oogie's Muncher with the reply here, and it feels to me like Nintendo could pretty much give you a paper sack full of glass and people would buy it for $100. It's just, people are hooked on Nintendo and they can't get away from it. I totally understand. By the way, I'm going to go to Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Hollywood very, very soon. Don't worry about that. All right, let's talk about this week's new releases. Atomic Heart! Hey, I feel like we just talked about that one. In a mad and sublime utopian world, take part in explosive encounters. Adapt your fighting style to each opponent, use your environment, and upgrade your equipment to fulfill your mission. If you want to reach the truth, you'll have to pay in blood. Ooh, and Russian rubles. Atomic Heart hits the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One on February 21st. Like a dragon, Ishin, don the clothes and weaponry of the elite to become the samurai of legend Sakamoto Ryoma. Draw your blade and join the revolution in this heated historical adventure retold with familiar characters from the Yakuza franchise. Like a Dragon, Ishin comes to the PS5 and PS4 February 21st. Ninja Jajamaru, the Legendary Collection. Relive childhood memories with classic Ninja Jajamaru jump and run titles from the 80s and 90s. Experience the RPGs of the Legendary series for the first time translated into English and play the brand new 2022 released addition to the awesome series. Ninja Jajamaru, the Legendary Collection is hitting the PS4 and Switch on February 21st. The PlayStation VR2 launches this week. Yay! Put things on your face. The launch lineup is way too long to list here, but it includes a healthy mix of new games like Horizon Call of the Mountain, ports of popular VR titles like Pistol Whip, and VR adaptations for games you might already like Resident Evil Village and Gran Turismo 7. PlayStation VR2 is officially out February 22nd. Put stuff on your face. The digital world has run rampant with Machine Draman and is now in a state of utter chaos. As a Digi-destined, it's up to you to restore order to the world in Digimon World Next Order, a monster collecting RPG. That was a lot of words I do not understand. Digimon World Next Order is coming to PC and Switch on February 22nd. Aces and Adventure is a deck-building RPG with poker-powered combat. What does that mean? Combine poker hands with powerful ability cards to save the life tree or tackle procedurally generated runs in the strategic deck builder unlike any other. So like if you get like walking sticks or like pocket aces, I don't know. Aces and Adventures comes to the PC February 23rd. I'm gonna check that one out. Brutal, crazy, tactical. This is Blood Bowl. The iconic death sport returns with the new video game of fantasy football, faithfully using the latest board game rules and new content. Create your team, then crush, mulch, and cheat your way to the top. Blood Bowl 3 is gonna be on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One on February 23rd. Company of Heroes 3 combines heart-pounding combat with deeper strategic choices in a stunning Mediterranean in theater of war. Every battle tells you a story. What's yours? Company of Heroes 3 is going to be on the PC February 23rd. Planet Cube is being invaded. Prepare to run, gun, jump, and dash your way through an underwater science complex, collecting firepower to turn the tables on a mysterious aggressor. Planet Cube Edge is going to be on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch February 23rd. Sent to find a missing billionaire on a remote island, you find yourself in cannibal-infested hellscapes. Craft, build, and struggle to survive, alone or with friends, in this terrifying new open-world survival horror simulator. Sons of the Forest is going to be on the PC on February 23rd, and I cannot wait for that one. Clive and Wrench is a 3D platformer starring Clive, a rabbit, and Wrench, the literal monkey on his back. Hurl through time and space in a 1950s refrigerator on a heroic quest to thwart the tyrannical Dr. Dacus and stop his evil plans. Clive and Wrench is going to be on PS5, PC, PS4, and Switch February 24th. I switched PS5 and PC. I usually do it the other way around. Kerbal Space Program 2. Enter the next generation of space adventure with exciting new parts, stunning visuals, fully revamped UI and map view, and rich new environments to explore. Kerbal Space Program 2 is going to be on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One on February 24th, and everyone's going to tell me to play it. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. The Tough Puff Kirby is back for a 1 to 4 player platforming adventure across planet Popstar. Help Magalore rebuild his ship with newly added mecha and sand copy abilities. What is a Magalore? Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe comes to the Switch on February 24th. And lastly, Octopath Traveler 2. In this brand new entry to the series, 8 travelers hailing from different regions venture forth for their own reasons. Step into their shoes and explore the land as you see fit, using their unique talents to aid you along your journey. Octopath Traveler 2 is coming to the PC, PS5, PS4, and Switch on February 24th. No Xbox for you. That's it for the show this week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Tell Activision Blizzard to calm down. Bye.